Hey everybody, this is Larry. This is day 4, right? Of the Leetcode Daily Challenge. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, join me on Discord. Let me know what you think about this video when it ever feels like it wants to load. Yeah, hit all the buttons. All the buttons. Yeah. Hope everyone's doing okay. I don't have much update today. So I'm just gonna wait for the phone to load. I don't know what is taking so long. Okay, we have 881 votes to save people. You're given a way of people where people survive the rate of the ith person and an infinity number of votes, where each vote can carry a maximum rate of limit. Each vote carries at most 2 people at the same time, provided the sum of the rate of those people is at most limit. We determine the minimum number of votes to carry every given person. Yeah, I mean, I think, So the way that I would think about it is that, I think it's so tough to say because this is sort of a greedy problem, and with most greedy problems, it's just very tricky to kind of articulate sometimes because the feeling is there, but the proof is not, and that is something that I struggle with a lot. Answer is just having the most things that you can do, right? I think the biggest thing about this is just about, I mean, there are a couple of ways you can do it. The way that I'm going to do it is just by sorting and then reverse, because then now we can basically, the idea that I have is that, well, if we go in reverse order, right, what happens? If we go in reverse order, then this person, the next person that you're looking at, is going to be the heaviest person, right? And the heaviest person, there's no way to get, so then, how do I say it? If you're doing like a sweep thing, right, where you vote the people on in order, you have the heaviest person. Well, every person that you have to that you come across, you have to give them a vote no matter what, right? So then now what happens? Then now you can maximize the greedy, like the second person that you get on that vote if you can, and if you could find anyone, that would be better than not finding everyone, because then otherwise the heaviest person would always just keep his own vote. So I mean, I think that's like a good argument, right? But it's, the proof is tough, right? I want to also say that, for example, if you can fit 3 people on a boat, this no longer applies. Surprisingly, maybe, I don't know, maybe it is, because then it probably becomes a sort of an. If I have to guess, it probably becomes NP. Or I guess maybe not. If I have to guess, it probably is NP. Unless there's another greedy thing that I'm missing. I mean, of course, and you could also maybe solve it in dynamic programming, say. But if I have to venture a guess, it's probably in that like pseudo dynamic pseudo polynomial or something. But I don't know. Not relevant to this, but it's just kind of, I just want to demonstrate that your intuition might not necessarily be correct. So then what is the proof for this one, right? Well, to minimize the number of votes, another way to phrase it is to have the most people in each vote, right? And you can, and if we look at the heaviest person, and you could use the exchange argument here, right? And the exchange argument is that, okay, now you have heavier person, now you have to find a second person. Obviously, if you don't have a second person, that's suboptimal. I mean, unless you have no choice. I mean, if you have a choice between no person, some other person, and then a lighter person, someone less heavy. Well, the no people, like, one person on a both thing doesn't ever make sense, because you can always take one out, take anybody, and that's more optimal for the obvious reason that later on, if you kind of kind of in an induction kind of way, later on, having just one person means that the decision is easier, right? Like the sub problem is easier is a easier sub problem, if you will. And the other thing is, well, you have choice between two people. Why would you choose the heavier and the lighter one? Well, it's also like a very optimal sub problem kind of thing, right? In the sense that it's an optimal sub problem thing, because in the sense that if you take the heavier person now, then by the time you get to the person that you didn't pick, if you need that person, you have more room for a second person on that boat, right? Usually I draw it out, but I feel like that's a good enough thing for me to try. And also, to be honest, maybe I'm just wrong, you know? Like I said, this is kind of hard. And anyway, so the way that I would do this, maybe there are a lot of ways you can do it. I'm just going to do it with yeah, I'm just going with 2 pointers, right? The idea here is that as you go from left to right on the heavier person, then the 2 pointer you can go from right to left, right? Because now as we go because the heavier person goes lighter, 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 and then that means that the lighter person will be, the second person can go heavier. Makes sense, right? So yeah, let's go with that. So let's say we have left pointer and a right pointer, right? Right being the heavier person, say, right? Oh, in this case, then this is n-1, whoops, right? So then now, how do we want to move this pointer, right? And it's not quite, let me think about this for a second. No, I think I want that doesn't make sense. I think you want to get the heaviest person, is what we said, right? That's the way that makes sense in the greedy, right? So maybe this, and then now maybe while people sub right plus people sub left is and it's a little bit awkward because left should be okay. Left is equal to max of right left, right? Right plus 1, because you want to get the next person, right? Because yeah, we assume that everyone to the left of the right we have already processed, right? So then while this is greater than or less than limit, or maybe I can say while left plus 1 is less than n, and the next person is going to be less than the limit. No, that's not right, is it? Well, this is greater than the limit, then we go increment by 1, right? Yeah. Also do both is equal to 0. And then now, I didn't actually mark this very well, but so basically this is just like used so that we can keep track of the future. Maybe this could be a set even, it doesn't really matter, I think. But yeah, so then now, that means that if we try to go to the next person, it would, or now, so here's the invariant, right? This loop ends when either left is equal to n or people sub right plus people sub left, whoops, is less than or equal to limit, right? So yeah, so that means that, okay, if left is equal to n, we don't have a second person, and everyone that we haven't used yet is already too heavy compared to this one. So if it is not equal to n or less than n, then we want to also just, I think this should be right, but maybe I am lying, right? Maybe I'll just put an assert, right? And then that means that now used we can add left. And then left we increment by 1 no matter what, because we already used it. We just want to also here, maybe if right isn't used, then we continue. This is very awkward. But yeah, and then now we can say that we use both right and left, and we add 1 to both, and then we continue. Otherwise, we also just add 1 to both and we continue, I suppose. So maybe we don't even need this. Or like we can simplify by getting rid of it. Then we can return boats. I think I'm not really happy with the code that I wrote though, to be honest, because it just feels very unnatural the way that I feel about it. Okay. Why is that? Also, which answer is it? Okay, so you have 2, 1. 2, 1, 3, okay. Wait, where's the 3 one come from? Oh, is it here or? Oh, it's probably from this one, but okay. So then now, 3, 1. Oh, because I wrote plus 1 is less than n, so I have to be a little bit careful. Because then now that means that this can be the last number, so I'm wrong on this and Marion. I just kind of misread this, right? Okay, so then that's fine. Then we can just do a quick if statement, right? Oops. Maybe it's a little bit. I don't know if that's cleaner, to be honest. But yeah, let's give it a submit. I'm not confident about this one. Well, apparently in the past I've gotten it much cleaner, but today maybe not so much. Greedy is a little bit tough. Why am I doing wrong? So I expected 3, but I get 2. Okay. Why? Because I matched the 5 with the 1, and then the 4 should be matched with the 2. Okay. What am I think I'm just confusing myself. I think that's what's going on. But yeah, I don't know why I'm moving to the right, because 5 gets the heaviest, but then it goes to the left. I think I'm just confusing myself a lot, to be honest. Today is a rough day. Let me think about what I want to do. Let me rewrite this. Did I put this in the example? Okay, no, I put it in here. Okay, that's good. Well, I guess it makes sense to match the heaviest and the lightest. I mean, what I said was right, but my implementation is just really bad. I don't know why I kind of like, because it goes to the 1, but yeah, I mean, I think what I said was still right, which is that I wanted to do the reason is because I wanted to do with like a linear thing here, but this is already dominated by n log n, so maybe I should just like not worry about it. And what I should do is just, I could use a sorted list. I think that's one thing that I was thinking of, because basically for each, that's probably the easier way to do it. So that. Yeah, yeah. I was trying to do it, I don't know. Some days I'm just having issues. You can watch the other 3 videos where I did it cleanly properly, but today is not that day where I do it cleanly. But yeah, I think you can also just do like sort list is equal sort list of people. Another way to phrase it is that for the lightest person, you want to get the heaviest person you can find. So maybe that's fine too, right? So then now, yeah, so here, while length of SL is greater than 0, we have boats, right? And the reason why this is a little bit easier to prove, or at least like to program correctly, it's just that, okay, now is equal to SL of 0, so this is the lightest member, right? And then we want a binary search on limit minus now, right? Then index is equal to this. So if index is at least greater than 0, because we don't want to reuse this by accident, or maybe we could just remove it already. Yeah, okay, fine, we could just remove it already. Remove now, right? And this is using one boat. And then now we look at the index. If index is less than n, or sorry, len of that means that there's at least one I'm trying to think whether that is am I doing this right? Because I feel like, okay, so now we match two people, but the limit, am I doing the math right? I'm so off today. I think this is right? So, and SL of index is less than or equal to limit minus now, then yeah, then now we can say we just remove this one as well. So now we remove two things and then we can return both, maybe? I don't know. Let's give a spin. Greedy problems are hard. Ah, man. Why? Tell me why? How did this get wrong? I mean, I think this is, I mean, if I run the code in my head, it is right, but I don't know why this is wrong, right? Because while this is 0, we have 2, 2, right? So now it's binary, oh, it's binary search for left. So it goes, I just can't do math, I suppose. Yeah. So then this is the next number that is bigger. So it's searching for 4 or bigger. I'm just really bad today. So then the number that is going to be this or smaller, we actually want to bisect right, and then minus 1. And then now basically we have to make sure that this is okay. Even when I'm right, I'm wrong. I'm just like having a rough day, I think. Some days are those days, and it's okay. I mean, I would say, I think one thing that I want to talk about, and maybe this is going to be a topic for my newer video on my other channel, as some of you know, is that, remember, don't confuse, and usually I do this in the beginning, I know, but don't confuse your training with progress, right? And what I mean by that is when you're training, it's okay to do it in a way such that you feel like you're making progress, but don't confuse it with the progress itself, right? And because when you're looking at your goal, depending on what you're trying to do, the training is trying to get you to that point where your goal can be met, right? So let's say you're doing an interview, or you're trying to, get good at an interview. Then, your training should focus on priming yourself and peaking yourself at the interview, right? And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of things that factors into, your day-to-day thing, and it's okay that, you don't need to be 100% all the time, because life is really hard to be 100% all the time, right? But if you have an interview in a week, then you want to get your body, your mind into a place where you are at 100% during that time, right? And the training, like, obviously, learn what you can learn from it. That's the most important part. I mean, otherwise it's okay, right? I don't know. Anyway, that's why I'm not that bothered by it. But this is a very, I don't know. I think one thing that I am a little bit bad at, to be honest, and that's my fault, and I apologize to my viewers, is that I try to not prepare for these things because I want it to be live and representative of someone who is not like prepping for it. But sometimes it does lead to like silly things where I just rush it a little bit. Like this is a very obvious, easy thing, but I just didn't say that. I just didn't follow it through. I was relying too much on laziness and past experience. And what I mean by that is that I'm like, I think this is right. Instead of showing myself this is right, and that's where it's just silly mistakes. I am now curious though on how I did previously. Timing was better. That's what I was trying to write, but I guess it is what it is. I mean, I was trying to. I wasn't able to. It's a tough proof to the proof of always matching the heaviest and the lightest. So I didn't go that well. I thought maybe I could have done it, but yeah. And then this other. Oh, I was wondering how I did it, but then I just kind of did the negative version instead. And I think that's what I was confused about because I was debating doing the negative version so that I could binary search, and then I think I just didn't choose to, and then I confused myself a lot. Life is silly. And then this one I just did it the other way. I don't know. It's kind of weird because I feel like any given day I probably could have gotten this, but today I did not. As you can see, I don't know. There are many ways to solve this problem. I'm just a silly boy. That's all I have for today, though. Let me know what you think. I don't know. Thanks for watching, though. I appreciate the support. I try my best, but sometimes the trying doesn't get my best anyway. So, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Stay good. Stay healthy. To good mental health. I hope you have a boat to save people. I'll see y'all later and take care. Bye bye.